In the previous demonstration video, we curated and configured this basic pop-up here. Now we're going to use this to start creating our smart form from Map Viewer. The first thing I'm going to do is come over to the Configure Editing option from the menu on the right. When I click on that, I will get two options. I can either start looking at my templates or my forms. First, I'm going to click into Forms. Now, when the form builder comes up, it's going to give me the option to start from scratch and just start to pull in different fields from my fields list on my right, or it's going to give me the option to convert my pop-up. So when I convert pop-up, you can see up here that it says PRA fire mitigation, tree type. That's exactly the heading in our pop-up, and we want to maintain that. If I wanted to change this from tree type to something else, I could highlight this and then come over and look at my fields list, and I could say, maybe I want this to actually be hazard level here instead of tree type. And then it would dynamically update for every feature based on the hazard level that was input. But I am going to go ahead and leave this as tree type and then say done. And then you can see that all of the attributes in my pop-up are now within a single group in my smart form. This is done automatically. You don't have to keep them grouped. For instance, I'm going to take this details field and I'm going to move it outside of the group. Now the only features in my group are these three fields here, and I'm going to stick with that. With my group item highlighted, I am going to change the name to Hazard Tree Details. And then because I'm calling these hazard tree details within this group, I'm going to come down here to the details and I'm actually going to change this to comments. And because I want my comments to be able to be easily read, easily typed in, not just in a single line, I'm going to change the input type for this to multi-line. And you can see now my end user has a little bit more space so they don't have to feel like they only have that single line to type in. And then I'm going to come up here to tree type, and we have set not only a unique symbols template on this layer, but we have a domain choice list that we set. So when I click into tree type, right now I have a combo box, which means the end user would click on this arrow here and then see the options. But maybe I want this to actually be radio buttons so that they'll come in and just click on these radio buttons. Right now, I do want to leave the no value option, but I want to change this to other because we did offer an other style in our symbology template because not every hazard tree they find will be reflected in the categories provided. And then I'm going to come down here and click on diameter of tree. Right now it's a double input type. I'm going to go ahead and leave that double, but I'm going to make this field required. And when I click on required, you can see that a required symbol comes up. Now I'm going to click on hazard level. I am going to make this required. And then I'm also going to make this radio buttons instead of a combo box dropdown. So now you can see I've done a little modification of the smart form, and this is now how it will appear when my end users utilize this in field maps or any other map applications that this map is going to be used in with editing as one of the options. I'm going to click on OK for now because eventually we will come in and talk about calculated expressions and conditional visibility, but we'll be doing that in a future tutorial or demonstration. I'm going to click OK. And then when we come back to our map, I'll quickly save before I click on edit so we can see what the smart form looks like. I'm going to click on edit. And when the edit panel comes up, I have the ability to first create features. And you can see that this is my symbol or style template now. This is my layer template. And so my end users have the ability to come in and say, oh, I actually want to add thinning green trees. And I'm going to add that right here. And so the tree type is already input because that is the template I chose. Now I can come down here. I'm going to skip this so that you can see that an error message will show up because this is a required field. I'm going to type in 15 and the diameter of the tree is in inches. Maybe that's something we want to add for our end users to be able to understand. And then I'm going to say it's a medium hazard, and I'm going to come down here and say that it's leaning on a live tree. So these thinning green trees are leaning on a live tree. And then I could come down here and add attachments. Maybe I could add those from my device, or I can actually take a picture and attach it to this feature if I were in the Field Maps application. I'm going to go ahead and click on Create. But let's say that there was a little bit more detail that I wanted to add to that. I've already clicked on Create, but now I want to go back. So I'm going to click on this back arrow, and then I'm going to choose on the Select by Point, and I'm going to reselect that point to reopen this smart form. I actually wanted to say leaning on a live tree with a dead tree at the base. Maybe there's a little bit more hazard here. There's a little bit more complexity, and this is what my sawyers are going to want to know. Now I have updated the smart form again, and I'm going to click on Update.